Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about plant foods really trying to kill you. As I don't know about you, I've seen a lot of things come on my news feeds with it saying, oh, plants are toxic, they're going to kill you and so forth. So I must admit it does make me laugh, but let's just take a more broader look at all this, unpack it and stuff. And yeah, I'm more of a realistic person. I don't think I like these all swaying from two to, extremes, on all this stuff. So the first thing I'd like to look at is, which being a Christian, I'll always go to the Bible first. And God always says that He created all this food for us to eat, that was animals with hooves and the plant foods, all seed-bearing plants and stuff for us to eat, that it's food for us, and He said that it is good. And here's the scriptures to back it up. So as we can see, plant foods as well as meat is good, and we should not reject it, as scripture says, it's all good. But the thing is, we all have problems, don't we? There's oxalate issues, as I've said in a couple of videos, there's the FODMAPs, the salicylates, the histamines, and so forth that are in plants that, a lot of people, including myself in the past, have had issues with these plant foods. And I'll be honest, back in 2014 and 15, and probably even up to 2016, I think I probably had that attitude, oh, plants are dangerous or toxic, blah, 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 because of what they did to my life. And yeah, I just think, that was a wrong attitude for even me to have. Yes, they're toxic, but let's look at the Aboriginals as an example. If you go to any of them, especially the traditional Aborigines, and they'll teach you all about the bush tucker, how to survive in the outback. They'll say, don't touch these plants, they are poisonous. And then they'll go, these are the plants that you can eat, they're food for you, they'll help you survive in the bush tucker. And they'll also show you plant foods that you have to prepare in a certain way, otherwise X, Y, and Z will happen, so, there's always this preparation. They knew how to prepare these certain plant foods. But having said that, someone that was not used to eating this particular plant food, they'd have a lot of gut issues and stuff, health symptoms with it, because the digestive system wasn't used to it, because it was such a touchy plant food. But I think the Aboriginals, because they grew up on it and they knew how to prepare it, their digestive system was good, strong and healthy to be able to handle all that. So that's where it always comes back to me when I look at all these scriptures and look at all the evidence that's going on. The oxalates, if you haven't seen my oxalate video, get the book and also have a look at my oxalate video. It's like the high oxalate foods people are eating every day, because we got the transport that can have it coming every day. So people are eating these high oxalate foods every day instead of eating it in season and in moderation, so that the body can detox those really nice sharp oxalate crystals that I showed you in my oxalate video. When it doesn't give it that time, and I mean, these high oxalate foods could be causing a lot of your health issues that are going on in your life. So you've got to do the experiment on it and, reduce those high oxalate foods and go more for low oxalate foods. And the fact that if you don't ferment the foods, it does nothing for your microbiome. You've got to ferment the foods for it to give you a healthy gut microbiome. So there's that preparing it, and by the benefits of fermenting is that it does improve your gut and digestion and gives you a healthy gut microbiome. And fermenting food supports your immune system. By fermenting the foods, it gets rid of those toxins and anti-nutrients, because plants have to protect themselves from bugs and so forth so that they can live and survive, so they're going to have those anti-nutrients and toxins on them. So that's why fermenting the foods is another good option and idea, so that you can enjoy these plant foods. I personally will not waste my time having any plant food if it's not fermented, because I'm after a healthy gut microbiome. And also by fermenting it, it makes it easy for our bodies to digest and absorb the nutrients. So if you have malabsorption issues, you need to be fermenting your veggies so that your body can digest and absorb the nutrients. And because fermenting also pre-digests it too, which then again makes it easier for the digestive system to do it. And this makes it really crucial, as I said, for malabsorption issues. So if you're not fermenting your plant foods, please start. And like I said, I'm using the cultured wellness starters if you look at my other previous videos. And fermented foods also may reduce anxiety and ease depression by boosting the mood, because also fermented foods also helps get rid of those parasites and so forth, bad bugs that are in your gut. And that's, when you've got parasite overgrowth, it's going to affect your mental health issues. You're not going to be happy. You're going to have mental health issues. So fermented foods is another good reason to ferment your foods. And fermented foods also increases the bioavailability of the vitamins and minerals in the foods, like I said, because it gets rid of the toxins and anti-nutrients, which means the nutrients and vitamins go up, and then the body's able to absorb it and take it in. And fermented foods can also control blood pressure as well, and blood sugar and cholesterol levels. My blood pressure is perfect. Every time I go to the doctor these days, it's like, oh, you've got excellent blood pressure. So that's also encouraging. And fermented foods are great for the bone health. And fermented foods can be a great source of B12, which is very great for vegans and vegetarians. So if you're a vegan and vegetarian and have trouble with B12, please ferment your food so that it can help with the B12, because if you don't get enough B12, your brain shrinks. So yeah, vitally important. So please start fermenting your foods. And don't just have one fermented food. Your body needs a diverse amount of fermented foods. So if you're just having sauerkraut, get some more foods. Every food that I've put on the channel that I've fermented, I'm actually eating every day, and I've got it getting it into my digestive system. And you only need a little bit. It's just like a side part to your plate, because it's a probiotic food. It's a powerhouse. So you don't need that much. So if you're thinking of having a whole bowls full of fermented foods, don't go there. Just basically put a little bit on the plate, like a tablespoon up to a tablespoon onto your plate, and just enjoy it. It's just as a side dish to complement to your meat and eggs and whatever else you're having on your plate. So you've got to have a diverse variety of fermented foods. So add more. Don't just have sauerkraut. Add more. Have some fermented garlic like I am. I've got fermented garlic, fermented spring onions. I've got fermented avocado. I've got fermented cucumber. I've got fermented blueberries. Did I say fermented spring onions? I've got that, and I've also got my fermented iceberg lettuce and chives, which I've nicknamed sauerkraut because it's kind of like a sauerkraut because I'm not very good with the cabbage yet. That's going to be probably way down the track, but as my body continues to heal. So I've replaced the cabbage with iceberg lettuce, and it's very nice. So yeah, you've just got to add a variety because you're just not going to get a nice diverse amount of healthy gut bacteria if you're only sticking to one fermented food like sauerkraut. And also I have kefir as well, the Cultured Wellness kefir, coconut water kefir. So by having that, I'm getting a nice diverse variety, and I will actually eventually soon do a video on fermented butternut pumpkin, which I'm going to um, incrementally train to have that because yeah, I haven't had veggies like that in a long time. So with the neuroplasticity, I'm going to brain train my body to be able to tolerate that. So yeah, like I said, I won't have any plant food if it's not fermented. It's just not worth it because like I said, it does nothing to your body, your microbiome, if it's not fermented. So, and you should be after a healthy gut microbiome. So I think that's where a lot of the issues are. We're over consuming veggies instead of eating them in season. We're not preparing them right for the body to have it, and we're all overindulging, like we're having too much of the plant foods. Our bodies need the essential healthy fats. Our body needs the healthy essential proteins, but our body doesn't need the carbohydrates. It's not essential. The body can live happily on just healthy fats and proteins, and that's why the carnivore diet is helping so many thousands and thousands and thousands of people around the world, where people are turning to the carnivore diet or the low carb diet or the ketovore diet or the paleo diet, which Dr. Ken Berry and many other carnivore doctors have coined the proper human diet, because many people are seeing incredible results. And I was watching a video that I posted into my playlist for you guys to look at, that Kelly was interviewing a guest on her channel, and this lady, before she went carnivore, her calcium score, that's for the plaque on the arteries, it was way over like 265 or something like that. It only needed to get a bit far higher to the 300, which is the mark where it's like, okay, you're on this is a threatening high risk point here. And she was eating a standard American toxic diet, following the guidelines of that pyramid, and she was just getting sicker and sicker, and she was really overweight. And when you look on Google and everything, and they say nothing can reverse that score, but thing is, she's been carnivore for 2.5 years. She actually did her, she said on the video, she did her score test, I think about a week ago or something like that, and it's gone down to 16. And she was a bit disappointed because she wanted to get it down to the 0, which is the ideal part where you want to do. But to go from 265 down to 16, when everything on Google and medical professionals say it can't be reversed, there's living proof that on a carnivore diet that can be reversed. And she's going to test again in a year's time, and she's hoping that last 16 will drop and she'll be down to 0. And many people have said that their blood pressure and blood sugar levels have come back to normal and they don't need to be on medication anymore. There's just so many pluses to a carnivore diet or a ketogenic diet or a ketovore diet or a low carb diet. These low carb diets is what's helping people with the insulin, because when you're having such a high carb diet, it can cause the visceral fat to go up. Dr. Sean O'Malley on his channel actually says that he's tested a lot of vegans and vegetarians over the years, and he's found that they have the worst visceral fat. They may look slim and terrific on the outside, but on the inside they are totally unhealthy with that really horrible disease-causing visceral fat, and he said the fruitarians are the worst. So if you are a fruitarian, please stop. The brain needs healthy fat for the brain to be healthy, and you're starving your brain of healthy fats and healthy proteins by being a fruitarian, and that is too much fructose, too much sugar that's going on in your body, and it's acting like a drug, and it's causing the aggression and mental issues and so forth that we've been seeing in people online on social media that have been fruitarians. Like, for example, Freely, Banana Girl, she had a lot of anger and issues and mental issues that we saw online, and she was even on the news. And last time I heard, a few years ago, she nicked off to the Amazon desert to get away from society. Her body was starving for healthy fats, healthy proteins. So a fruitarian diet is the worst, and the visceral fat is through the roof because you're just not feeding the body what it needs, and it's not good. So please, if you're a fruitarian, please stop. Get a more healthy, balanced diet, please. That's when I was a vegan. That fruitarian never made sense to me anyway. So I'm glad I never went there, even though I tried all different types of vegan types, from starchable to raw food and all that sort of stuff. But I'm finding now that I'm meat-based, I'm carnivore-based with fermented foods, and I'm having fermented, low oxalate, low carb foods, and I'm feeling really good. I feel like my body is thriving, and I know that my body microbiome has improved a lot to what it was. So I'll always support the low carb diet, because I remember when I was stuck and could only eat lamb, chicken and beef, and I couldn't eat anything else because my body would react, and it was the neuroplasticity with Reorigin that helped break that cycle. And then I've been able to get a lot more carnivore foods into me, and now I've been brain retraining to get these fermented foods into me, which is huge, because I struggled to do that years ago because of histamine and salicylate intolerances. But as I've said on my food sensitivities, overcoming food sensitivities video, it's missing digestive enzymes that causes the food sensitivities as well. It's a combination of the limbic system being stuck in a loop, as well as the food not having the right enzymes. So I take the Healthy Gut Holozyme digestive enzyme to help give me that whole broad spectrum of digestive enzymes, and that's helping me too. And I know that's helping my digestive system heal too. So look, bottom line is, yes, foods can be toxic, and yes, they can harm you, especially the high oxalate foods. And yes, they could be causing your health issues, but it's like, we've got to bring it back. You might have to go low oxalate to let your body heal and recover, and you might need to do some limbic system neuroplasticity with Reorigin to help your body to stop going down that loop like I did, to get over the food sensitivities. And I'm sure eventually you can get those high oxalate foods back in, but you need to be more smarter about it, and have them in season and in low doses, and ferment your foods. I think that's probably the best way where foods will not cause you issues. So I hope you found this helpful. I just thought I'd bring a bit of balance because there was just slight truth to it, but there's also solutions to the plants not causing harm. So yeah, I like my fermented foods, and if you don't like fermented foods to start off with, that just shows you where your gut microbiome is. But you've got to keep persevering and start low. Use cultured wellness starters because they are specially designed for autoimmune conditions and food sensitivities and histamine issues. So you start low and take the holozyme digestive enzymes from healthy gut, and then just start really slow. Just dip your finger in, or just get a spoon and get a bit of the brine and dip it in, and then just slowly, incrementally train so that your body can just start to get used to it, and then slowly build up until you get to a quarter of a teaspoon, and then slowly build up until you can get to a half a teaspoon, and then slowly build up until you can get to, a teaspoon or a tablespoon. Sorry, it's another really hot day here. I feel like I'm sweating. It's about 36 degrees Celsius today, very hot and muggy, especially with the high humidity. But I do have the air conditioning on. So you just got to start really slow and low with the fermented foods, and then you'll as you start to enjoy the taste of the fermented foods, that's your indication that you're starting to build healthy gut microbiome. And I absolutely love the taste of my fermented foods now. It's actually very, very yummy. So anyway, I hope that's put a bit more of a perspective on what's going on with the plant foods and how we've got to be a little bit more wiser and not over-consume these plant foods. And I especially would not be eating processed carbs, any junk food and stuff like that. I think definitely a whole food, natural food diet is the key to improving your health. And if you can start slowly working your way to that, you can start improving your health. Anyway, I hope you found this helpful. God bless.